podcast party to slay a dragon.
Spent an uneasy hour in the High Priest's chambers in Deep Hall Point. The strange apparition, that blue-skinned, yellow-eyed tiefling, has not reappeared, and the undead creature summoned by Violet has slumped into silence, languishing in the doorway, guarding your rest. Theobad, you realize during this brief respite that probably for the first time since its creation, there is very likely only one dwarf alive in the Forbidden Shrine, and that is you. Yet, somehow, at the edges of your consciousness, the halls seem filled with the memories of ancient songs of work and prayer. You feel like you can almost hear them echoing throughout the forge, the chapel, the dormitories, the catacombs and interlocking hallways that link all of these things. But aside from your new companions who you've brought with you, you know that those halls are now empty. You have all successfully completed a short rest. Having been knocked out twice by the hill giants, Theobad is suffering from 2 levels of fatigue, and Belton, having been knocked out once, is also suffering from a level of fatigue.
Hey, Belton, do you have one of those Granny Appleseed pastries?
What? Oh,
the pastry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should eat it.
Why?
Because you don't look so good.
I didn't trust Granny Appleseed, I'm gonna be honest with you. She was she was nice.
I ate one of those already and it was delicious. And nothing bad happened.
Yeah, you look like shit too. Just, sorry.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, sure. You think it's gonna make me look better, huh?
That's what's important, right? Gotta look good.
Yeah, it's not about what you can do, it's just about how good you look.
Or what you say. It's what you look like, yes.
Sure. All right. I'll have a slice of this. Well, it's actually smells kind of nice. And I take a bite.
It is delicious. There are almonds, pistachios, and thick, meaty bread that it's made of.
Oh, thick, meaty bread.
Your intention is to take a single bite, Belton. Before you know, you're licking the last crumbs of your pastry clean from your hand.
How did that happen?
It seems it's almost as if you're not allowed to only have some.
I can't control myself. I don't know why. I just took the whole thing and shoved it into my face.
Yeah, you sort of blacked out for a moment.
Okay, well, I strangely feel all better.
You look great.
Mechanically, this would remove 1d4 levels of fatigue, but since Belton is only suffering from 1, it is automatically going to cure at least 1 level of fatigue. So Belton is fully recovered.
I feel fantastic.
Maliboo cleans the crumbs off his shirt.
Theobad, would you like one of mine? I have one and I don't need it.
Oh, I would be much obliged.
Here you go. I'm just going to dig in my bag. I'm going to pull out a monster's finger and hold that, and then pull out some other weird things, and then get to the pastry wrapped in a nice piece of fabric, and I'll hand it to you, and then I'll put those other things back. Here you go.
The ghoul tracks every one of the items that go in and out of your pack with its eyes.
Oh, do you want a tasty finger? And I just hold it out.
Long distended tongue comes out of its broken lips and licks its teeth.
Okay, here you go. I think I've pretty much gleaned everything I can from this finger, so here you go.
It snatches it and greedily sticks the finger into its mouth. There are hideous sucking and chewing sounds.
To each their own.
That's pretty horrible. I'm not going to look at it.
Okay, yeah, I don't blame you, but he is going to be very helpful.
All right. And I have another one of those if anybody needs it, so... You think the thing over there wants it? The dead guy?
Well, Theobad, do you eat the pastry?
Like right now, he's just watching the rest of the group trying to figure out what the hell everyone's doing. But then after a moment, he will, through his new glasses he would have attuned to over the short rest, he peers at it, trying to remove any monster gut flesh that may have gotten on it, and then takes a big bite, and then catches himself devouring the whole thing.
And you two may roll a 1d4 to see how many levels of fatigue. 3. You two feel completely refreshed and reinvigorated after having consumed Granny Appleseed's pastry. Violet and Belton, your pastries are now gone, so you should remove those from your inventory. Maliboo, I believe you still have yours.
Yeah, I still have one if the team needs it, so it's right here. I show everybody where it is in my pack.
Thank you.
Oh, Violet, you should take this. Here. and I give her the box of party tricks, which has one party trick in it.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be fighting whatever we're fighting, so it'd probably be better if you had it. I don't know what it's going to do, but it'll do something.
Well, it's a box of party tricks, so it must be fun. Something good will happen.
If some money comes out, I would like it. Other than that, I don't care.
Of course.
How many potions of healing do we have amongst all of us right now?
I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3 normal healing potions and 2 greater healing potions.
Oh, that's pretty good. How about everybody else?
I don't have any.
Okay, I have 1 regular potion of healing.
I can pray and heal you a little, but I don't have any potions.
I will give 1 healing potion to Maliboo, and I will give another healing potion to Theobad. So now we'll all have 1, and I have the greater ones, and I will be happy to give them to anyone who is in need at the time.
All right.
But I am exceedingly squishy, as we all know, so I am going to keep them.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
And those potions, they don't work with, and Belton points at the ghoul. They don't work with, well, we haven't named him, right? So.
What was that, dear? What's your name?
Norgo?
Norabor?
Norbert? I think he said Norbert. So
Norbert.
his name is
Norbert.
Norbert.
That's what I got from that.
Norbert. Okay.
That's a good ghoul, Norbert.
Violet, I have a question. Let's say you get, bonked on the head and are, laying on the ground. Is that thing going to attack us?
No, I don't believe so. I'm not really... Oh, I don't know, actually.
Never done this before with the summoning
never.
Norbert. Worst things come to worst, we've got a master of divine power. Belton points at Theobad. He could just sort of make it go shoo, right? Is that what you guys do?
I mostly make things out of metal.
Yes, I can make them shoo away, but I guess I would be unconscious, so I don't know. I wish there was somebody I could ask to make that decision for us, some sort of overarching authority figure who might be able to make that decision.
Maybe if we're all quiet, we can hear. Let's hear.
Okay, let's be very quiet.
Everyone be quiet. Shh.
Well, you honestly don't know the answer to that question, Violet, so I guess we'll have to see what happens if that tragic situation comes to pass.
Well, we'll never find out, because I'm not dying again.
Great.
That's for sure. We're not going to let that happen. So, best foot forward.
Okay.
Violet, can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh, that's a good way to start.
Okay.
Wait,
That's
what?
interesting. Oh, that's a 4.
Noted.
Oh,
That's
man.
Good.
Stop it.
How you doing there, Violet? You all right? You look all right?
I just felt a
feel
little
all right?
woozy for a
No,
moment.
Violet,
but,
Violet
I'm
feels fine. Violet, you
Okay.
feel fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I took a turn for a minute, but I'm fine.
Okay. Well, I think we should make our way forward into the rest of this forge.
The guardians await.
Anything specific about these guardians you can tell us? Like what they look like, what kind of strategies or things that they...
I had already been separated from my father by the time that these guardians were placed, so I know not much about them. I know that the weapon itself was to come at a cost. I know that our best warriors were willing to give all they had to create this weapon. So I imagine we may have to get past our best.
May as well get to it then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we should probably go kind of quiet.
Am I wrong, but do we have to sing some sort of song at the door?
Yes, one moment. Theobad will go over to the maybe bookshelf or desk area, and leaning up against it is this wooden instrument, somewhat like a lyre, a little bit different, dwarven, certainly, and he straps it across his back. I'll need this.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, would you like to sneak up until that point, Belton?
I think that we should all do that, actually.
Okay.
Do we know where we're going?
I know the way. I am loud, but I can lead the way.
You could just tell us, and Belton and I'll go first. We're pretty quiet.
I'm also pretty quiet.
I'll bring up the rear then, with,
I
this
don't know
thing.
how quiet Norbert is.
And I can make a stealth check for Norbert. He's actually
he's pretty stealthy.
pretty stealthy, yeah.
So I'll hang back. I'll point out these directions to the rest of the party, and only when they've given me a signal that the coast is clear will he stealth out of the room.
Okay. Norbert got a 16 on his stealth check.
So did I.
Ooh, Maliboo got a 7. Oof.
Belton got a
Yeah.
17 on his stealth roll.
That is certainly a group success. Theobad is hanging back a bit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, following Theobad's instructions, you head out the ruined door and you continue to head east towards the chamber where you fought the hill giants. There is a flickering brazier still lit in this room, and there is a massive steel door closed to the north of you, and it's embossed with a hammer and anvil.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak back a little and just go, you can follow us now.
Aye.
Sure, if you're sneaking, you can go ahead dexterity stealth with disadvantage.
3.
Oh, man.
You do hear Theobad clanking up behind you, but you don't hear any movement towards you. Nothing seems to be taking notice of you. Corpses of the 3 giants you slew are still here, now pretty rank. It's, been about 90 minutes since you dispatched them. Still bleeding out into the stone floor. It doesn't look like anything has touched or moved them since the battle here.
Belton will stick his head as close to the door as he can and try to hear if there's anything beyond it. I know it's a steel door, but...
Wisdom perception check.
Can Maliboo lean over him because he's small and listen as well?
Sure.
Maliboo got a 22.
Unable to hear anything with a 5.
My hair's getting all in your face, my long hair.
Sure.
Could you just move your...
Quiet.
So Maliboo with a 22, first of all, the door feels a bit warm, not hot, but warm. There's a little bit of heat coming off of it, and you can hear the crackling of flames on the other side. Not immediately on the other side, but there is definitely a lit fire or fires in the room beyond the steel door. You don't hear anything else, though.
Theobad, is the forge supposed to be running? Because I hear fire, and the door's warm.
Fire makes warmth.
Maliboo gives you a bit of a dirty look. Like he knows.
Well, is this the part where you sing a song?
Could be beyond this.
Belton, do you want to try the door?
I put my hand on ostensibly a doorknob, if there is one.
No, there isn't. There's a seal where you see the double doors would swing open, but you do not see any lock or handle or knob of any kind.
I just sort of give it a slight push.
It does not move at all.
I think we're gonna need something to open this door. And Belton turns and looks at Theobad.
Yes, I knew I was stalling. I'm not very confident in my skills, but I'll do it.
You'll be fine.
You're going to be great. I wish these were better circumstances because I'm looking forward to hearing you sing.
You're the first in history to say that. Right. He flings the instrument over the other side of him while putting his weapon down and tunes it a little bit, and he will play the song. Guard us, guide us, mighty kin. Against the darkness we begin. Promises made in stone and bone. For protection alone its might be shown. The heart that seeks power or wishes to reign will find no ally, only pain. Through Makvral, Darungal, Dulakrem, Torunthal. Through Makvral, Darungal, Dulakrem, Torunthal. Sacred offering we present thee now. To dwarven gods we make our vow. Bless this hammer with your grace divine. As we battle the dark, let your light shine. Krul Maldreg, Vorun call, Deep Hall's call, Troya's thrall. Krul Maldreg, Vorun call, Deep Hall's call, Troya's thrall. By desperation's hand we call thee forth. O hammer of vengeance, show thy worth. In this final stand as destinies weave, may the dwarven gods in us believe. Through Makvral, Darungal, Dulakrem, Torunthal. Krumaldreg, Vorun call, Deep Hall's call, Troya's thrall.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
I loved it. Oh, I loved it.
Wow. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, it's really, really wonderful, Zach.
Oh, well, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
As Theobad concludes the stirring rendition of the ancestral Troya song with the sound of stone grinding upon stone. The doors of the Holy Forge swing open.
Whoa.
And the way is clear before you.
Everything's lit, it looks like, by the glowing light of the forge.
Somehow there are braziers lit just inside on either side of the door, and the bubbling molten magma of the forge is still active. The forge is gargantuan, a feat of both artistry and engineering. Soaring pillars hold aloft a ceiling that vanishes into shadow, while the searing glow of molten magma reveals the space with an eerie blood-red light. 4 massive iron anvils flank the molten channels, each with a quenching pool brimming with clear water. Theobad, the anvils are silent now, but you can remember the beautiful and terrible sounds of them ringing under the hammers of the forge priests years ago.
Steps in and takes a moment, genuflects, and just quietly meditates before moving forward.
Your meditations are disturbed as a chill emanates from everywhere at once, and a moan, pained and distant, rises, and in your peripheral vision, you see 3 figures detach themselves from the shadows and glide towards you, weightless, formless undead, whose shapes bear a shadowy resemblance to the dwarves they once were.
Can you tell them to back off?
I think that's them, the Guardians.
The foremost of the 3 guardians raises its spectral hand towards you. There is no sign of welcome or recognition. It points in your direction, and that low moan is joined by the others in an accusatory, aggressive fashion, and the shapes glide towards you. We are in initiative.
All right.
Oh no.
Maliboo rolled an 18 on initiative.
Belton rolled a 19.
Violet rolled a 9.
Theobad rolled a 15.
And Norbert rolled a 13. But Belton, you have the first move.
Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of places to hide. Maybe behind one of these columns or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
those are pretty massive columns. Belton, you could certainly break line of sight by getting behind one of them.
Okay, then yeah, absolutely. Immediately, Belton will run over to the nearest column and slam his back against it and pull out the dwarven dagger and use his bonus action to hide.
Go ahead, dexterity stealth check.
Belton got a 15.
Yeah, you press your back against the pillar and hope that you're concealed. Anything else, Belton?
As an action, I will take the dodge action, actually.
Okay.
Maliboo will draw his Dragonbane log sword, charge forward, and hit the one right in the middle with a 12.
A 12 does hit.
Yay.
That is 14 points of slashing damage. And then fire is going to roll down his arm. And he's going to use his fiery armaments for another 2 points of fire damage.
Okay, so 16 damage total. It shrieks and quails as you slash across this amorphous spectral body. There are tendrils of ectoplasm that stick to Dragon's Bane and drag behind it through the air. That did have the full effect. The magical blade definitely did wound this undead creature, and it looks pretty badly wounded, Maliboo.
He is going to use his bonus action to wave his sword in like a figure 8 and hold up his shield. And because they're both medium weapons, he can add 1 point to his armor class. So he's going to protect himself because there's 3 of these things. So his armor class will be 19.
Theobad, it is your turn.
Theobad stands and cries out, "I have come to end your watch, faithful brothers. Into the light." And I'll shoot a 2nd level guiding bolt at the back right spirit. I rolled a 3 plus 5 for 8.
So unfortunately, the guiding bolt sizzles through the air directly past the spectral dwarf and explodes against one of the quenching pools behind it and then dissipates. That does not connect with an 8.
Theobad, you have to harm your brethren here. And I will try to take a little bit of cover behind the pillar as well with that failure, and that will be my turn.
It is Norbert's turn, Violet.
Norbert's going to shamble over to behind the one that is engaged with Maliboo so that Norbert can get advantage. And he's going to do his paralyzing claw attack.
Okay, he does have advantage. His first attack was a 9, which would miss. For the second roll, I rolled a nat 1, unfortunately.
Oh boy, Norbert!
The spectral creature twists and warps away from Norbert's claws as he leans in to try to get a hold of it, but he does miss.
It's okay, Norbert. They're very fast. You can do this. but maybe get out of the way a little bit. He's gonna move back 10 feet. I don't want him to get immediately swarmed.
Sure, so he's swinging around the creature, not breaking engagement with it. Okay.
Correct.
And Violet, it is now your turn.
Oh, no, but you'll get it. And I'm gonna hold my arm out, and I'm gonna exhale. Some mist, some cold air mist is gonna come out of my mouth. And a skeletal hand is going to come out of my arm and hand. And I'm gonna cast Chill Touch. So this hand is going to go towards it and just sort of rest on its shoulder. And I'm gonna make an attack roll. That's a 17.
17 does hit.
1d8 necrotic, and the next attack it makes against me has disadvantage. That does 3 necrotic damage.
Okay, and it does seem to be disrupted as that spectral hand holds onto it and grasps firmly, and it stays attached to it. It will take the 3 necrotic damage, but that one is still there. Anything else, Violet?
No thanks, I'm gonna stay where I am.
It is their turn. Maliboo, you can just make out the wide, staring, lifeless eyes and floating beard as if suspended in water as this creature in front of you bears down on you. It seems badly damaged by your attacks, but it extends one hand towards your chest. Only a 14.
That misses.
Yay.
I'm going to use my parrying counter maneuver. When he misses me with a melee attack, I get to use my reaction to make an attack against him. Once again, Dragonbane Longsword, 10.
A 10 does not hit. So he reaches for you, you dodge, you swing, and he also dodges around your blow. You circle each other and then regain your original positions. The other 2 spirits close in, moving towards your group. Maliboo, one comes alongside of you, and the other heads straight downwards, its eyes fixed on Theobad behind the pillar. So one will reach out for Maliboo. This time it is an 18 Maliboo.
My armor class is now 19.
Nice.
Again, its hands just sort of slide off of your armor. You feel a harrowing chill pass through you, but it is not quite enough to reach you. And the 3rd specter reaches for Theobad. Theobad, that is a dirty 20.
That will hit.
Theobad, that is 10 necrotic damage, and you must make a constitution saving throw.
When?
So you feel a numbing cold pass through your arm where the creature seized it for a moment, Theobad, but you shake off the effects with no further damage to yourself, just the 10 necrotic damage. That is their turn. Belton, we're back to you.
Belton will move from pillar to pillar, dodging through the shadows, and will see that Maliboo has 2 of these horrible spectral foes next to him, but one seems to be damaged, so Belton will go for the attack on that one. And because Maliboo's right next to him, he will get sneak attack if he hits him, I assume.
Correct. What are you attacking with?
I'm attacking with my dwarven dagger. That's a 23 to hit.
23 definitely hits. And you do get sneak attack.
7 piercing damage, 14 sneak attack for a total of 21 total damage.
The moaning from that creature merely falls silent. Its empty eyes close, and it seems to dissipate into ash and steam, which flows into the molten ore behind it and disappears.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks, Belton.
Sure. Seeing that there is another one, Belton will use his bonus action to use his short sword attack on the one right next to him. That is a crit.
Nice.
All right.
8 slashing damage from the crit.
You pass the short sword through the creature to the south of you. It is a solid blow to where you think a mortal creature's heart would be, Belton. The short sword does pass through that space, and it seems to shimmer and get disrupted slightly, but not as much damage as you might have hoped from the non-magical sword. So it is going to take 4 damage instead of 8 off of that crit.
All right.
And Maliboo, back to you.
Maliboo is going to look at Belton. Good job. And then he's going to shift around, so he's flanking this creature with Belton. And as he does, he's going to look back at the ghoul. Does the ghoul attack him as he thinks the ghoul's going to attack him as he moves away from it?
The ghoul does not attack you.
All right. He eyes it suspiciously, and then he will attack with his Dragonbane Longsword with advantage. That's a 15.
15 does hit.
It takes 12 magical slashing damage. Fire rolls down his arm, and it also takes 3 fire damage.
Okay, so 15 damage total. You pass the sword right through the middle of the spectral creature. It seems to disincorporate and then slowly pull itself together. The flames ripple through it. This one is also now badly damaged, but it is still there.
And then once again, he's going to spin his sword in a figure 8, trying to look good, and give himself a 19 armor class. And that's his turn.
Theobad, it is your turn.
Seeing the tactics of these seasoned combatants, Theobad will step to flank with Norbert. He takes a breath and then actually focuses a sacred flame at the one that they are surrounding.
So that will be a dexterity saving throw for the creature. It got a dirty 20. Yeah, there's a burst of forge light from the ceiling of the forge, but it twists and drifts around the light without touching it.
Theobad looks at his hands, which are still shaking, and looks at you all. You're gonna have to do this for me, but hit me. I'm the one you want. That's my turn.
It is Norbert's turn, Carrie.
Try again, Noah, but you can do it. And he's going to slash out with his disgusting claws.
First attack has a 6. The second attack, though, with advantage is a 22.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, he does pass his claw through the spectral creature, doing 4 slashing damage. Now, Norbert's claws are not magical, so the creature does resist them, so that'll only be 2 slashing damage from the attack. And the specter seems immune to Norbert's paralytic touch. Has
Got
no
it.
effect on it.
He still did a great job. Still did a great job.
So that was Norbert's turn. Violet, it is your turn.
I'm still proud. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on the one between Belton and Maliboo.
It will make a dexterity saving throw. It got a 16.
That passes.
Again, it swirls out of the way of the blast of holy light. Anything else, Violet?
No.
It is their turn once again. Belton, the creature twists away from Maliboo, and the ghostly eyes and open, gaping mouth are now fixated on you. It reaches one hand towards you. That is a crit fail, so you easily dodge out of the way of that, Belton. And the other one reaches once again with both arms for Theobad. That is probably going to miss with an 11, Theobad.
Miss.
This time, neither of them is able to lay hands on any of you. It is Belton's turn.
Belton comes up off the floor where he's ducked that last spectral claw to his head, comes up and just with a rising strike to this creature's midsection with his dwarven dagger. And he'll have advantage because he's flanking with Maliboo. That's an 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
5 magical piercing damage. I can roll the sneak attack if you would like.
There is no need. As you did with the first specter, Belton, you thrust your dagger towards this one, and as the blade pierces it, it also seems to evaporate into steam and ash, and it too returns to the forge.
Belton will then move towards the last of these 3. He's sort of forming a triangle between Norbert and Theobad, and with his bonus action, even though it's not going to be as effective as the magical dagger, he will swing his short sword at it. And that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 does hit.
So that's 6 slashing damage.
Once again, Belton, a solid hit with the longsword, but it is partially resisted by this undead spectral creature. So it'll take 3 slashing damage up. And Maliboo, it is your turn.
Maliboo sees the one in front of him's dead, and Belton rolled over to the other one, and he does the same. He follows him, and now he's flanking this creature with Belton, and he will once again use his Dragonbane longsword. I'm starting to like this sword. And he rolled a 22.
That absolutely hits. You do have advantage, so you might as well roll again just to see if you crit.
An 11. So yeah, I'll take the 22. That's 13 points of magical slashing damage, and then 2 points of fire damage. So a total of 15 points of damage.
As has been the pattern of this fight so far, Dragonbane grievously wounds the creature, and then the flames burst from your arm and scorch it further. This one is very badly damaged, but not quite finished off.
Bonus action, instead of protecting himself, he's going to try to jump up in the air and shield bash this thing to death, even though it's not magical. That's a 10.
No, it does avoid the swing of your shield. Anything else, Maliboo?
That's my turn.
Theobad.
It's almost down. It's almost down.
Get him, Theobad! Get him!
I bring you peace, not pain. Sacred Flame.
It will make a dexterity save. This time it has failed with a 6.
10 points of radiant damage.
Yeah!
Roll.
There we go.
Good roll.
The light seems to completely swallow up and engulf the creature. It is in fact vulnerable to radiant damage. So it does take 20 points of radiant damage, and it instantly is incinerated and returns to the forge. As it does so, you turn towards Violet, and Violet's shadow peels itself off of the floor behind her and stands behind her and then shifts and grows.
Violet, what are you doing? Violet, what are you doing?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this thing.
It coalesces into the shadowy form of that blue-skinned, yellow-eyed tiefling that you spotted briefly in Theobad Troya's chambers. And it says, "Congratulations, and my thanks, Theobad. The forge is opened, the guardians defeated, and all it took was that very charming little tune that I have waited so long to hear. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Aviezer, and I serve the great dragon Cirothe. And now I claim the Forbidden Forge in her name." Hi, everybody. Hope you're enjoying Podcast Party to Slay a Dragon, presented by Cast Party and EN Publishing. The show will be back shortly for the second part. For this series, we're using Level Up Advanced 5th Edition to enhance the classic D&D 5e experience. For more info on these cool new rules and enhancements for your 5th Edition D&D games, visit levelup5e.com. You can also purchase this adventure as part of Level Up A5E's To Save a Kingdom, available in both hardcover and PDF formats. This fall, Cast Party returns to the Good Witch in Hastings-on-Hudson, New York, on Saturday, October 19. Join us for an evening of dragon-slaying, dungeon-delving, treasure-hunting adventure. Our professional dungeon masters will lead your party through a tabletop adventure. No previous D&D experience is necessary. Admission includes a 3-hour Dungeons & Dragons experience with a professional dungeon master, a delicious drink and snack courtesy of the Good Witch, plus a few surprises. Located just a short train ride from New York City in the historic Hastings-on-Hudson station on the Metro North Hudson Line. Planning to attend with a group? We'll make sure you're seated with friends and family. New player or attending alone? We'll make sure you're at a table to suit your experience level. Tickets are on sale now at cast-party.com, so don't wait to grab yours. Thanks so much to all of you who helped make Attack on Copper Coil become a gold bestseller on Dungeon Masters Guild. As a result, this adventure will form the second part of the Copper Coil cast, a new Cast Party actual play podcast series premiering in October 2024 right here in this feed. Returning for that show will be Zack Byrd, who appears as Theobad Troya in this episode of To Slay a Dragon. Zack is a New York actor and lifelong D&D player. He's the dungeon master of Party Foul, a YouTube D&D live play. His TV and film work includes Hustlers, Pledge, Blindspot, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Mr. Robot, and All You Can Eat. Zack is also the co-founder of Young Dragonslayers, a D&D-based online coaching program for tweens and teens. Young Dragonslayers helps kids and teens form meaningful friendships and practice social skills through online D&D. They connect kids with like-minded peers across the US and Canada to embark on an adventure facilitated by a professional DM in a safe and inclusive environment. Their online course, Dragon Leaders, is available to aspiring dungeon masters everywhere starting this summer. Learn more at youngdragonslayers.com. Cast Party's professional dungeon masters are available to hire for online games. We have games for kids as well as adults, and our DMs can run almost any of the official Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition adventures, as well as third-party adventures, and even some we've created ourselves. Details at cast-party.com. Do you ever feel like you have a great visual picture in your head, but you need a little help putting it into words? Well, with a subscription to Describe, you can access thousands of descriptions of monsters, spells, locations, and more, as well as maps, music, and sound effects to enhance your games. Only at describe.com. That's DSCRYB.com. Would you like 10% off that subscription? Follow the link in the show notes and use the discount code CASTPARTY, all one word, all caps, to save 10% on your first subscription. As always, we're offering monthly free adventures with our Dungeon Masters. These free games fill up quickly, so if you'd like to grab a spot, you should join our email list or our Discord server. Links to both can be found at cast-party.com. If you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, on Instagram at Cast_Party, on TikTok at Cast_Party, or on Threads at cast_party. Thanks very much for listening, and now back to our adventure. And now I claim the Forbidden Forge in her name, thanks to you.
No, you don't.
What?
You'll do no such thing.
And we are still in initiative.
Oh boy.
As he attempts to finish you off, I'm just going to roll him
good.
in.
Right behind me, yes. Right behind me.
You said the name Azaziz, but the voice sounded very familiar. Maybe I'm just hearing what I want to hear, but I don't know.
So you've met one other blue-skinned tiefling in your life.
Yeah.
It is Mercury. The physiognomy is somewhat different. Like facially, he looks like a different person.
Okay.
He has the exact same accent.
Ah, okay. The voice is not the exact same, it's just the accent.
The accent, yes.
Got it. Okay.
We are at his turn, as he did get a 15.
Oh, balls.
He reaches one shadowy hand down towards the back of Violet's head.
Is it an attack roll?
It is an attack roll.
Okay.
You want to use shield?
Yes, I use shield. There's some sort of dragon ghost tiefling right behind me.
Okay. With shield, what's your armor class?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Hold on.
Shield raises your armor class by 5.
Then it is a 20.
Shadowy hand pushes through the shield
What the
and closes
fuck?
over your head. He got a 21.
Oh.
That is 15 cold damage as the hand
ouch.
drops on Violet's head. You see icicles form and mist comes out of Violet's mouth and her skin visibly pales as it touches her.
Once that happens to me, I'm very badly hurt, so I'm going to disappear and I'm going to reappear, and the invisibility lasts until the end of my next turn.
Okay, it is Norbert's turn.
Norbert is going to shuffle to my aid, and he's going to lash out with his claws at Azaziz.
Norbert did get a dirty 20.
Great.
Certainly hits. So he claws at the shadowy tiefling's form. Yeah, he slashes, and he does seem to tear a small rend in the shadowy substance of the creature. But again, it does seem resistant to Norbert's non-magical claws, but it does take 2 slashing damage. And it is now your turn, Violet. You are invisible.
Do the claws force it to make a Constitution saving throw for
They
paralyzation?
do, again, they do not. It seems that this creature is also immune to the
Okay.
paralytic effects of the ghoul. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to run away.
Okay. It cannot see you, so it does not get to make an op attack. You just move away from it.
I run away 30 feet and I hide behind this column. I'm still invisible at this point. And I'm going to bonus action healing word myself at first level. That's 5 hit points I get back.
And you still do have your action, Violet.
So I don't have any spells left.
Oh, great.
So I do have cantrips. So I'm going to try to Sacred Flame it.
We'll make a dexterity save. It got a 14.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah, it dodges out of the way of the sacred flame.
I'm visible, but I'm hiding behind this pillar as well as I can anyway.
It is Belton's turn.
Belton saw this shadowy tiefling. A word tumbles out of his mouth, and he says, Mercury? No. Ah! And then he just runs at this shadowy blue tiefling with the dwarven dagger primed to go.
As you approach, he says,
Oh, God.
Did you say
Mercury? That's terribly interesting. No, I have not the felicity of being that particular gentleman. We are very, very close, though, and I'll enjoy interrogating your lifeless corpse about him.
Belton stops to listen to this guy and says, You talk too much, asshole. And then he just stabs at him. Hope he hits him. Norbert would be an ally. He's right next to him.
Yeah, Norbert's an ally. No matter what Maliboo thinks.
That's a 22 to hit.
Yeah, 22 does hit.
2d8 plus 1d6. 17 plus 5. 22 magical piercing damage.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to use a maneuver, and it's called Perplexing Flurry. And it says, when you activate this maneuver and you take the attack action and make a weapon attack, then that creature has disadvantage on all attacks against me until the start of my next turn. So after cursing at this creature, he just sort of flips the dagger into a psycho stab and then just goes and stabs at this thing as many times as he possibly can within the course of 6 seconds.
All right, yeah, it recoils, it throws up its arms, and a look of confusion and almost panic crosses its face as you stab it multiple times with the Forge God's finger. It takes all of that, and it definitely seems, I think, disconcerted would be the word by that flurry of attacks against it. Anything else, Belton?
I still have a bonus action, which I will use to
Stay there.
very wisely. I hear over my shoulder, much to my chagrin. Although I would love to fucking run away because this thing's gonna hit me in the face. I will just shift 5 feet to my right and allow for Maliboo to enter the fray if need be.
No, stay there.
Okay, I will not give you any room, and I will just stay the fuck there. Jeez, you're needy.
Maliboo, it is your turn.
And Maliboo will disappear, and he will use his Twilight Step to move 30 feet to a space he can see, which is right behind this creature. And that's his movement.
Nice.
And now he is flanking. Hi, Belton! And he stabs at the creature from a flanking position.
Oh yeah, that's the. Oh yeah.
With advantage. 22,
22 does hit.
11 points of slashing damage. And then once
All right.
again, fiery armaments. Ooh, 6 points.
Hell
So
yeah.
17 points of damage.
You thrust Dragonbane through the back of this shadowy creature, Belton. You see the point emerge, and it looks down and spreads its arms in surprise as Maliboo appears from the mists behind it. Maliboo, when you move through the dreaming into that position, the version of Deep Hall Point that exists in the dreaming is a completely natural cavern. You suspect that may have been what this place once looked like before the dwarves worked the stone here. There's just limestone, luminescent pools, water dripping from stalagmites, jagged stalactites, and then you're back in the real world with the stone face of the dwarf carved upon the floor, standing just outside the doors that open to the Troya song and stabbing this creature from behind. It gives a shriek of rage and pain. It is still there, however. Anything else, Maliboo?
Bonus action, Shield Bash. A natural 1 for a 5.
Okay, it does not notice as you clang the shield against the door behind it.
That's all I got. Maliboo's done.
Theobad, it is your turn.
Theobad takes a few slow steps actually to the center of the room, staring down this creature. You are mistaken. You waited for me. I waited for you. And then he will cast Guiding Bolt at 2nd level again. 15.
15 does hit.
One more d6 to roll there. So 14 points of radiant damage.
This creature explodes in a blast of light, shrieking and clutching at its hair,
All right.
destroyed in the doorway of the Forbidden Forge.
Nice.
We are out of combat.
I'm so sorry. I was so useless. I apologize.
You weren't useless. You gave it a really good target so that we could all get it in place and then beat the shit out of it.
Okay. I'm gonna slump against Norbert.
Maybe you should drink a healing potion or something.
You all right there?
Yes, I'm okay now.
No, just drink one of the healing potions. It's fine. We got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I do feel better. Thank you.
All right. Where do we go now?
Theobad, you're familiar with the layout of the Forbidden Forge. There are doors to your immediate west and east, and then at the north end of the forge, another door leading west. The door to the near west of your position leads into your father's private workshop area. The door to the east leads to storerooms, and the door at the far end leads to the passageway that you had talked to your friends about, the route revealed by the coward's map that enters into tunnels leading deep into the Desolation and emerging near Skull Mountain.
Theobad puts the instrument down, picks up the weapon again. For a moment, actually, he's distracted. He walks over to where Arsenic died or was exploded and just kind of looks around, confused about why there's no body. Is there anything there that I can suss out, or any like presence of energy that feels interesting?
Yes, there is, in a shadow pattern on the floor, glowing ash and coals and a strong smell of sulfur. And the form, the sort of silhouette of the shadow on the floor is neither Violet Shadow nor a tiefling, but a vestigial, long-limbed creature
Ooh.
Two spaces where its eyes should be, long trailing fingers, but just like an after image, like something was burned to death and left a permanent impression on the floor here. It does not look like a mortal creature at all. Can you make a religion check, Theobad?
Of expertise if...
Yeah, so that allows you to add an additional D4 to the check.
Wow, very bad. 7.
You're free to draw whatever conclusions you wish.
I will look into our notes and see if I can find more about this, but keep your eyes on the shadows. He stands up after investigating. I believe the passage that you had sought is at the far end of the room, and the weapon, I imagine, would be in my father's private area. You'll follow me, and he'll move to that door and try to open it.
It's not locked, and it swings open easily.
Takes a minute just to kind of feel what it's like in the room, if someone's been here recently, or if anything he can tell about it before he fully goes in.
Sure, make a perception check.
11 is the total then.
You notice a layer of dust and metallic particles covering every surface inside the workshop, Theobad, which suggests to you that this area has not been disturbed for years. It is your father's private workshop. It adjoins the forge. It's an oblong room set with various tables, workbenches, and desks. On one desk, a heavy tome lies open, and you can see dwarvish script on the pages. On a stone plinth next to that book is an ancient stone hammer encrusted with dwarven runes, veined with glittering blue metal, and 5 small dark stone fragments are arranged around the hammer.
Let me check the tome first. I don't know if there are any other defenses. He keeps his eye on the hammer, this beautiful, beautiful dwarven craftsmanship, but will try to get to the tome to read it first.
Get an odd feeling looking over the descriptions and diagrams. The light from the nearby brazier seems to waver in response to your reading. The tome details the quenching of metals in the blood of elemental creatures. One of the last entries, written in your father's hand in dwarven, immediately gets your attention.
It says, Cirothe has made a pact with the demons. Her mortality is linked to the rift crystal, a phylactery left in the care of fiends. As long as it exists, the dragon cannot be slain. The rift crystal is protected by fiends, who keep its location hidden. But we have created the weapon that will shatter the crystal when it is found. The Hammer of Vengeance. It is the key to her ruin. There are more layers to this than we predicted.
How are we going to find this phylactery?
What is a phylactery? It's a big word.
Anyone who'd like to see if they know what that is can make either, I'm going to actually say Arcana, not religion, Arcana check.
Maliboo's just going to scratch his head. He's not even going to try.
13 for Theobad.
I think it's a crit for a 24.
That is a crit. Violet, you know exactly what a phylactery is. Also called a soul cage. It is a place where a creature might store its mortality to preserve its own life. And as long as that soul remains intact in the phylactery, the creature's mortality is assured. It cannot be killed. It is a powerful magical process used to create something like that. Norbert moans behind you.
Yes, Norbert?
Raises its finger and points towards your pocket, Violet.
Oh, I see. I take out the eggplant. I tap it like I always do. Okay, hello, is this thing on? Hello?
You hear Mercury's response. Yes, Violet, what is it?
Well, we found a book, and we found the hammer, and we need to find a phylactery. The dragon has its soul in a phylactery, and we need to smash it with this hammer, but I don't know how to find the phylactery. It says it's guarded by fiends, and the fiends keep the location hidden.
Whose phylactery?
The dragon.
Oh, of course. That's relief. Who else would it be? Right.
Why, do you have a phylactery?
Well, in a manner of speaking, it became necessary, expedient, awfully convenient phylacteries, particularly in certain bargaining situations where some people might feel entitled to certain things. But, yes, I suppose the dragon's phylactery is the one we're most concerned with at the moment. I shall get right on that, Violet. I'll contact you as soon as I have any intelligence about it. Well done. Just put the eggplant away.
Okay, thank you. I put it away. Good thinking, Norbert.
Have we ever seen her do this before?
I don't think you've seen her talk to the eggplant before.
No, I don't think we have.
Nor can you hear the other half of that conversation.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So Belton's mouth sort of slowly hangs open as he sees Violet just like telephone right into an eggplant. And it's like, did you get hit in the head? Why are you talking to an eggplant?
What's the matter? You've never spoken to a nightshade before?
Not in recent memory.
Mercury gave me this eggplant. It's sort of a ascending eggplant, you know? I can sort of talk to him through it, but I can't abuse it. I can only do it in moments of greatest need, and I thought this was one. He said that he's going to look into it, and he sounded pretty confident. So he'll let me know when he has a bead on the phylactery, so to speak.
Oh, you were talking to Mercury just then.
Yes.
Should we have told him maybe something about this blue tiefling relation of his that just tried to kill us? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe he has any information as to what the heck that was about.
Good point. Hold, please.
Oh, you could talk to him more than once. Oh, me. Oh, sorry, I'll shut up.
Eggplant. I'm just, I don't want to be calling him all the time. He's very busy, and I think he's in some sort of danger, but that is a good point, so I think he'll want to hear about this. Tap, tap, tap on the eggplant. Hello? Sorry. Hello?
You have this time the distinct impression of just speaking to a spongy, vacant vegetable.
Hello? Oh, no. I think he's busy.
Yeah.
Well, next time I speak to him, I'll let him know.
All right.
Are we having eggplant for lunch?
No, you can never eat this eggplant.
Good, because I don't
I put
really
it-
like it.
Deep into my
Gross.
pocket.
I hate to be nosy, but do you trust whoever's on the other side of that?
Oh, yes. He brought me back to life. He was our traveling companion, and he helped us get this far. I trust him.
I just remember that other being mentioned knowing them.
Well, you can't be responsible for every person who knows you. He is a colorful character. I do trust him, though. You trust him, don't you, Belton? Maliboo?
Oh, I mean, for the amount of time that I've known him, I haven't seen any reason not to.
I don't know who he is.
Oh, that's true.
So no, I don't trust him. I trust you guys, but I don't trust him. And I don't trust Norbert. No offense, Norbert.
I trust you, Norbert. It's okay. It's okay. Why don't you hold Mort for a while? And I just put Mort onto Norbert's shoulder.
Nort scurries up there.
This weapon, you see, if it fell into the wrong hands, I have no doubt of your intentions, but if you would be offering the services to some other entity, I just beg your careful trust of whomever you let know about this.
Oh, yes. I do take it very seriously, especially seeing what you've gone through. I do trust him. As I say, he was our traveling companion, and he fought valiantly, and I would have been a puddle of goo without him. He could have left me there, but he didn't.
Well, I guess you're gonna hold on to it until we find the crystal, or we can take it with us? Like, what's the deal?
So he hesitates a moment and kind of like hovers his hand near it. I worry about my own worthiness. I felt such terrible things about the cowards that left. I'm not sure the hammer would obey me, but I will try for your sake. And he tries to hoist it off of the altar and get a feel for it.
You lift the hammer free of the altar. Your attention is also drawn to that ring of 5 dark stones that are arrayed around the hammer, and you recognize those for what they are, Theobad. They're dark stone, they're black round pebbles, they're cold to the touch. They can be used as sling ammunition, or can be thrown up to 30 feet. Get hit by the stone takes an extra d6 cold damage. Whether it is fired or thrown, non-magical fires within 10 feet of the stone's point of impact are immediately extinguished, as are any magical lights or fires created with a spell slot of 2nd level or lower. Be used here to quickly quench extremely volatile metals, but they can also be used as weapons.
He will mention their powers as you've described and then hoist the hammer, see what it feels like.
I would like to pick up those stones if possible.
Yeah, they're cold to the touch. They clack together as you lift them, but you are able to have them in your hands. Each one's about the size of a sling stone. The hammer also feels cool, Theobad, but thrums with power in your hands.
I am torn. My people need a leader, someone to see us back into this place, and you have such pressing business. I'll be there when you need me, but I can give this to you. if you swear to use it only to break that phylactery and then return it here to the dwarven forge from which it was born. Do you swear this?
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
He will hand it to Belton.
Belton will immediately try to pick it up, but it is way too fucking heavy. Maliboo, please help.
Maliboo's just smiling and watching him try to pick it up.
Could you stop being a dick and come over here and pick this fucking thing up, please?
All right. Maliboo will go over and pick it up.
I am not going to use that. I'm sorry. That's all you, Maliboo.
Heavy weapon, Maliboo, but you can wield it.
Would you like me to identify it for you?
Yeah, sure. It's not that heavy. You want to hold it?
No, if Belton can't hold it, I certainly can't.
He's not very strong.
But I just need to touch it. So I'm just going to put my hand on it and take 10 minutes.
I'll hold the weight.
Well, as we know, this is the Hammer of Vengeance. 3 dwarven warriors sacrificed themselves to empower this weapon. It is encrusted with dwarvish runes, as you can see, veined with glittering blue metal. Quite beautiful. And it's said to be capable of crippling the mind of a dragon. It will grant you a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with the Warhammer. When used against a dragon, you get a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls and deal an extra 2d6 thunder damage. If you make a critical hit, then you deal even more thunder damage. It has a few more special things it can do. When you use this Warhammer against a dragon, the dragon has to make a wisdom saving throw, or it will suffer 1 level of strife. If it fails by 5 or more, the dragon also suffers 1 level of fatigue. Also, 1 time a day, it can be used to destroy a magical artifact. So, I guess that's how it would destroy the phylactery. The Hammer of Vengeance can be destroyed by a dwarf that attempts to sunder it, which is automatically successful, so I guess any dwarf could just try to break it in half and it would.
The power is meant to be used in one way and one way only. I will show you the way. And he heads out of the room and toward the top pathway, the northern pathway.
You come to the door, the back entry chamber into the forge, the secret way into the Desolation. The door is currently closed.
I'll open it.
Grinds open, disturbing the dust, kicking up metal shavings and dust and leaving a trail along the floor. The chamber beyond is also lit by a single brazier, which is miraculously still burning. Molten light from the forge pours into that space. There are 3 skeletons littering the floor in this exit passage. You can't be sure what occurred here within the stone confines of their sacred place. Perhaps they were the sacrifices recorded in your father's journal. 2 massive steel doors stand closed behind the remains, and a partial cave-in has blocked these beyond tons of rocks. The passage into the mountain from here is choked with rubble.
Thanks for listening. This episode was dungeon mastered by Tal Aviezer with Andy Cannistra as Maliboo, Carolyn Fox as Violet, me, Matt Gordon as Belton Freedew, and Zack Byrd of Young Dragonslayers as Theobad Troya. Visit youngdragonslayers.com to learn how they help kids and teens forge meaningful friendships and practice social skills through online D&D. This episode was edited by Tal Aviezer and Carolyn Fox. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with episode 13 of To Slay a Dragon.